Have you ever walked into a room and felt like a shadow? Meanwhile, someone else can capture everyone's attention with just a few words. The secret isn't about speaking loudly or saying a lot, but about how you speak. In today's video, we'll explore 6 breakthrough strategies to help you speak persuasively and earn the respect of others. These strategies are inspired by Stoic philosophy, focusing on self-mastery and intentional living. Join me on a journey to transform your communication with real-life stories, practical advice, and timeless lessons. 1. Stop unnecessary apologies. I'm sorry, 2 words that, when overused, can dilute your presence and undermine your confidence. Many of us apologize reflexively, often without even realizing it. Whether it's for being a minute late, speaking up in a meeting, or asking a question, these unnecessary apologies send a subtle yet powerful message: I don't value myself enough. This habit not only affects how others perceive us, but also shapes how we perceive ourselves. Breaking this cycle requires a shift in how we use language. Instead of apologizing unnecessarily, consider replacing those phrases with ones that convey gratitude or confidence. For example, rather than saying, "Sorry I'm late," try, "Thank you for waiting." Similarly, instead of "Sorry to bother you," you can say, "Do you have a moment?" These small but impactful changes can alter the way others see you and, more importantly, how you see yourself. By choosing empowering words, you reinforce your sense of self-worth and assertiveness. I once had a moment that completely changed my perspective on apologizing. During a meeting, I was interrupted mid-sentence by a colleague. Instinctively, I said, "Sorry," but then it hit me. Why was I apologizing for someone else's interruption? That realization marked a turning point for me. I started paying attention to how often I reflexively said, "Sorry," the next time it happened. Instead of apologizing, I calmly asserted, "Let me finish my point." The response was immediate and profound. People began treating me with more respect, and I felt my confidence grow with each interaction. To break the habit of over-apologizing, start by pausing before speaking. When you feel the urge to apologize, take a moment to ask yourself if an apology is truly necessary. Often, you'll find that it's not. Practice gratitude as a way to reframe your language. For example, instead of saying, "Sorry for the delay," say, "Thank you for your patience." This subtle shift can make a significant difference in how you communicate. It's also important to set boundaries and assert your needs without guilt. Being assertive doesn't mean being rude. It means valuing your time and contributions. When you express yourself clearly and confidently, others are more likely to respect your boundaries. The philosopher Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Misplaced apologies often reflect an external need for validation. They're a way of seeking approval for things that don't warrant it. By being intentional with your words, you can reclaim your power. Speak from a place of self-respect and confidence, and you'll notice a shift in how others respond to you. Ultimately, breaking the habit of over-apologizing isn't about eliminating apologies altogether. It's about using them wisely. Reserve apologies for moments when they're genuinely needed, such as when you've hurt someone or made a significant mistake. When your apologies are intentional, they carry more weight. Your words will not only reflect the respect you have for others, but also the respect you have for yourself. 2. Set boundaries and stick to them. Boundaries are the rules you set for how others can engage with you. Without them, people will push until you're overwhelmed and disrespected. This principle is essential for maintaining balance and protecting your well-being. When you lack boundaries, you may find yourself in situations where others' demands take precedence over your own needs, leaving you drained and frustrated. Think about the times you've agreed to something just to avoid conflict. Maybe you stayed late at work to cover for a coworker's poor planning, or said yes to a favor even when you were exhausted. Each yes chips away at your time, energy, and self-respect, creating a cycle of overcommitment and resentment. I vividly remember a time when a colleague consistently dumped last-minute tasks on me. At first, I said yes, hoping to be seen as a team player. But one evening, as I stayed late correcting their mistakes, I realized something. Why was I sacrificing my time for their lack of organization? The next time they attempted to offload work onto me, I calmly but firmly declined. To my surprise, they adjusted their behavior. I regained control of my time and felt a profound sense of relief. Setting boundaries doesn't mean being harsh or unkind. It's about valuing yourself enough to protect your energy and priorities. Start by practicing in low-stakes situations. For instance, you might decline an unnecessary meeting or politely turn down a request that doesn't align with your goals. These small steps build your confidence and make it easier to set boundaries in more significant areas. Once you've established a boundary, hold the line. Avoid over-explaining or apologizing excessively for your decisions. Instead, communicate clearly and consistently. For example, if someone asks you to take on additional work, you can say, "I'm unable to take this on right now, but I can help you find another solution." This approach shows respect for both yourself and the other person. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely observed, "He who is not master of himself cannot be master of others." Setting boundaries is an act of self-mastery. By respecting your own limits, you teach others to respect them as well. Over time, this practice strengthens your relationships and enhances your well-being. It's not just about saying no, it's about saying yes to what truly matters. 3. Master the art of pausing. Silence is a form of power. In conversations, pauses give your words weight and allow others to process your ideas. Most people rush to fill gaps, but those who embrace silence command attention and create a sense of presence that few can ignore. Pausing is not just an absence of sound. It's a deliberate act that transforms how your message is received. I remember a work presentation where I decided to experiment with the power of pauses. As I delivered my key points, I intentionally slowed my pace and paused after each significant statement. At first, it felt unnatural, almost as if I was leaving too much empty space. But the feedback I received afterward was eye-opening. A colleague approached me and said, "Every word you said felt intentional. It really landed." That moment cemented for me the effectiveness of pausing. It's not just about what you say, but how you allow your words to resonate. Pausing works because it creates anticipation. Silence draws people in, making them curious about what you will say next. It's a powerful tool for building engagement and keeping your audience attentive. Moreover, pauses signal confidence. They show that you trust your words to stand on their own without the need for constant elaboration or filler. This self-assuredness is magnetic and commands respect. Incorporating pauses into your everyday conversations can transform the way you communicate. Start small. When explaining a point, resist the urge to rush. Instead, stop and let your words settle. For example, after asking a question, give the other person time to think rather than jumping in to fill the silence. These moments of quiet allow deeper connections to form, as people feel heard and valued. The Stoic philosopher Seneca wrote, "It is quality rather than quantity that matters." This wisdom applies to speech just as much as to life. Speaking deliberately, with well-placed pauses, reflects inner calm and self-assurance. It's not about saying more, it's about saying what truly matters and allowing it the space to resonate. By mastering the art of pausing, you not only elevate your communication but also embody a sense of poise that leaves a lasting impression. 4. Use humor without losing respect. Humor is a powerful tool for connection, bridging gaps and easing tension in conversations. However, it's a double-edged sword. When used intentionally, humor can build rapport and make you more relatable. But when overused or misapplied, especially in the form of self-deprecating jokes, it can erode your credibility and the respect others have for you. I remember a meeting where I made a joke about my workload, saying, "I'm just here to make spreadsheets look pretty." Everyone laughed, and in the moment, it felt like a win. But later, my manager pulled me aside and said, "You're too talented to downplay yourself like that." That comment stayed with me. It made me realize that while humor had made me seem approachable, It had also unintentionally diminished my professional image. From that point on, I became more mindful of how I used humor. Striking the right balance with humor is crucial. It starts with being intentional. Use humor to lighten the mood or diffuse tension, but never as a way to deflect from serious topics or downplay your abilities. For example, if you're presenting a complex idea, a lighthearted remark can make your message more engaging, but don't let it distract from the substance of your points. Knowing your audience is equally important. A joke that works with close colleagues might not land well in a formal setting. Tailor your humor to the people and context involved. A well-placed, thoughtful joke can enhance your relatability, but it's essential to remain respectful and professional. The Stoic principle of temperance teaches us to find balance in all things, including humor. Seneca and other Stoics emphasized moderation as the key to a virtuous life. In the same way, humor should be used in moderation, enough to connect and engage, but not so much that it overshadows your message or undermines your authority. By mastering the art of intentional humor, you can make your communication more effective while maintaining the respect and trust of those around you. It's not about eliminating jokes, but using them wisely to complement, rather than detract from, your presence and professionalism. 5. Avoid gossip. Gossip may seem like harmless fun or a way to bond with others, but it comes at a significant cost. It erodes trust and respect, both for those being gossiped about and for those participating in it. When you indulge in gossip, you inadvertently signal to others that you might not be trustworthy. People may start to wonder if you'll speak about them in the same way when they're not around. His behavior can create a toxic environment that ultimately harms relationships and reputations, including your own. I learned this lesson the hard way. Once, during a casual conversation, I made a joking comment about a colleague's frequent tardiness. At the time, it seemed innocuous, even humorous, but I later discovered that the colleague had been caring for a sick parent and was struggling to balance their responsibilities. My careless comment spread, and the damage was irreversible. That experience was a wake-up call. It made me realize how important it is to choose my words carefully and avoid making assumptions about others' situations. Rising above gossip requires conscious effort and a commitment to integrity. When conversations start to veer into gossip, you have the power to redirect them or simply stay silent. For instance, if someone begins to criticize a mutual acquaintance, you can steer the discussion toward a neutral or positive topic. Silence, too, can be a powerful statement. It shows that you don't condone or participate in tearing others down. Building trust is another key aspect of avoiding gossip. Strive to be the person others can rely on for discretion and integrity. When people know you don't engage in gossip, they're more likely to confide in you and respect your character. This not only strengthens your relationships, but also enhances your reputation as someone with strong moral principles. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wisely observed, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." This insight is particularly relevant when it comes to gossip. Choosing not to engage in gossip demonstrates strength of character and sets you apart in a world where such behavior is often normalized. By refusing to stoop to the level of spreading negativity, you embody a higher standard of conduct that others will admire and aspire to emulate. Avoiding gossip isn't just about protecting others. It's about preserving your own integrity and fostering a more positive environment. When you rise above the temptation to gossip, you contribute to building a culture of trust and respect, which benefits everyone involved. 6. Know when to stop talking. Many people fear silence in conversations, so they over-explain, repeat themselves, or ramble to fill the void. This behavior, though well-intentioned, often diminishes the impact of their message. It can make them seem less confident, as if they're unsure whether their words carry enough weight on their own. In reality, knowing when to stop talking is a powerful skill that exudes self-assurance and respect for your audience's ability to understand. I learned this lesson during a client pitch that didn't go as planned. I had prepared thoroughly and started strong, but as the meeting progressed, I found myself adding unnecessary details to preempt potential questions. I thought I was being thorough, but I ended up overwhelming the clients. Later, my boss gave me feedback I'll never forget. You had them in the first minute, but then you lost them. That experience taught me the importance of brevity and trusting my audience to process what I've said without needing endless elaboration. To avoid the pitfall of overtalking, practice saying less. When making a point, focus on clarity and conciseness. Once you've delivered your message, stop and give your audience the space to absorb it. Resist the urge to fill every pause with more words. Pauses, far from being awkward, can actually give weight to your ideas and create a moment of reflection for your listeners. Embracing silence is another crucial skill. Silence can feel uncomfortable, but it's a powerful tool in communication. It signals confidence and allows your words to resonate. For example, after asking a question, give the other person time to respond without jumping in to clarify or elaborate. This not only shows respect for their input, but also gives your conversation a more deliberate and thoughtful pace. The Stoic philosopher Zeno wisely advised, "Better to trip with the feet than the tongue." This timeless insight highlights the importance of choosing your words carefully. Overtalking often stems from a fear of being misunderstood or undervalued. But in trying to overcompensate, you risk diluting your message. By speaking less and embracing silence, you communicate with precision and confidence, leaving a stronger impression on those around you. Ultimately, knowing when to stop talking is about trusting yourself and your message. It's about understanding that less is often more, and that silence, far from being a weakness, can be one of your greatest strengths in communication. Respect doesn't come from a list of tricks, but from confidence, integrity, and deep self-awareness. When you stop offering unnecessary apologies, set boundaries, master silence, use humor wisely, avoid gossip, and know when to stop talking, you're not only shaping how others perceive you, but also how you perceive yourself. As Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." Respect starts from within. Honor yourself, and you'll see how the world responds. So, which of these 6 strategies will you try first? Share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to hit subscribe, like, and share this video to spread the value to those around you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.